You burpy. You burpy girl.
Burpy girl.
Mm-hmm. She's a burpy girl. All right. So, my makeup is partially inspired by what we're finishing today, hopefully. And also just a mix of Domino from Deadpool for some reason. I don't know. You know, with the black and white. Combine those two. So, before we do David Bowie, because that's going to take a lot of concentration, I found this at Goodwill. And I feel like repainting it because she just looks bored, you know, like she's like, And I kind of want to make it sort of like a goth version of the Virgin Mary, like, I don't know, blasphemous. I'm just cleaning it because it has some, Jesus, it has some like debris or like dirt, so so this is going to be clean, and I don't think I'm going to mess with the skin color because the skin color is pretty nice. The only thing that I want to change is everything else, especially her eyes. That scared me. With ceramics, you can't use gouache, so this is going to be put over here. And I have to use acrylic. What are you guys doing? You crazy cats. No. Oh, that doesn't matter. So I am going to put on my very furry, these cats, these animals. It has fur all over it. I'm not putting on this one. It's going to drive me crazy. Putting on my little apron so I don't ruin my clothes because that would make me really upset. Hey, stop fighting. And the colors are going to be black, ivory black, white, and a few other surprises along the way. Like I've mentioned before, I'm a intuitive artist, so like, you know, I use intuition and spirit and whatever to guide me when I make things, because it's more fun that way, you know. I mean, it is me doing it, but it's also like inspired by. So let's lower this a little bit. So this is obviously the Virgin Mary, but I don't know why she's blonde because she's usually brown haired. I don't know. You know how people are. They like to whitewash everything. So, so the intuition. And good thing this is painted already in acrylic. So it's going to bond so easily. It's already going on really nice. Oh boy. The reason why I'm doing this one first is because I was like, it's going to be really simple, like super fast. It's not. You know, I'm just kidding myself. Honestly. Like, nothing I do is like simple. Like, So yeah, I'm just painting and painting. Trying not to get black everywhere, but it's okay if I do because this is like a goth goth Virgin Mary. You know, if anyone comes into my room, they'll be like, ooh, Burke. You're painting the Virgin Mary, making her goth. Oh. My mom would kill me. Yeah, that is exactly what I'm doing. Because, you know, why not? In an alternate world, maybe she is, you know? All right, so I can't use this brush for the bold and the detailing, but do 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 do. All right. Oh shit. And I don't like the way they. I mean, the hair like is okay, but like the way they painted this hair makes it look. I guess how they intended gently. Fuck. Jesus. They intended to make it look like kind of old, like antique. You know, so that was something that that they intended to do. Okay, so this brush is too big for doing small stuff. Ooh. This size is perfect. Yeah, so oh my god, this cat is scaring the shit out of me because he keeps jumping on me. The Virgin Mary is someone that I pray to, you know. So I really do like her. It's not like I'm bashing her, really. I just like to make people think, you know, the different probabilities and possibilities. You know, so the whole concept of Jesus coming back and, you know, coming back exactly the way he looked. I mentioned it before, like, you know, that's kind of dumb. So, you know, I maybe she could be back here and she's into heavy death metal and, you know, screamo and shit. I don't know. It's like, what is the big deal, right? What is the big deal? You know, if your God is gay, right? The whole thing about Jesus being gay, there's like a Netflix special or show that Jesus was gay, and I was like, I really don't care. There's no issue. Like, and then people were freaked out. This is blasphemous. Jesus can't be gay. How do you know that? You're not Jesus. Like, shut the fuck up. Two-faced worshippers. Bless you. You know, like, if you're devoted to something, like you're supposed to be accepting of whatever that is. Like, you know, you can't project your insecurities on your devas or divas, or I don't know how to pronounce it in Hindi, but your gods. Like you can't be like, I worship this god, and then, oh, my god is gay, or I'm bringing up Zeus because I don't like Zeus at all. Uh, like people who like Zeus, they're okay that he like is promiscuous and essentially like I don't want to say the word, but he essentially rapes women, like, and he's also an adulterer. So like, you at least they're aware of that, but that's why I don't worship him. I really don't like him. But I'm saying, like, if Jesus was gay, like, if you're really like devoted, like, it shouldn't matter. Because first of all, that isn't any of your business anyways. Okay, what he does behind closed doors. So but, what do I know? I don't go to church, so I'm not a real Catholic girl. I'm just putting more black because this brush is kind of pulling the black and showing the blonde, and I just want it to be all black. And I can't really, yeah, I can. It's not bad. Yeah, I can't really. Never mind. But yeah, the whole thing about, you have terms and conditions for following your beliefs. Like it's just. And that's why I think also, like, at this point in time, in space or whatever, however you want to label it, a lot of the entities as, like, gods and whatnot, they don't really do much. Like mass miracles. I think they used to, in the Bible, like, they used to have, like, mass miracles, and I think at this point, like, it was just, I would be like, these people are stupid. Like, I ain't gonna do shit. They're not the trouble. They're not worth the trouble at this point. Like, they need to figure it out themselves. And I'm saying that as like a parent, like with children, like I would give my kids advice, be like, look, like this and this. And then if they just keep doing the same shit, I walk away. I'm like, you're going to learn your lesson. Like, I'm not going to hold your hand. I did my part. Bye. So I think that's pretty much how I see and how I would deal with it. Like, people don't listen. Like, they don't listen. They have no sanctity. Let me look up that word. Sanctity. Yeah. Ooh, I didn't even, that word just came into my head. Sanctity. They have no sanctity. Titty. I've seen it. I've been part of. I haven't been part of it. Like I've just witnessed it. People pray and pray and ask for forgiveness, and they go home and they beat their wives, and then they cry about it. Why is my life hell? You deserve it. You know. That's sacrilegious. Me, on the other hand, just because I dress up in a certain manner or I look a certain way, does not mean that it doesn't mean anything really, because the nicest people are the people that are extreme, like they express themselves out of the norm. So, like, yes, can I help you? Am I your climbing post now? Like, you butt. He woke me up at 4 a.m, messing around. Anyways, so yeah, like the whole thing, like the whole religious thing here in Miami, like the two-faced culture that we have. A lot of people who are really religious, they just judge, and I can see it like today. Like I dress up really, not even like that extreme. Like this is like not even that bad. I was gonna go all out, but then I was like, eh. But they're like, while you're passing by, like, not that I care, but it's like, what? Say something, please. Just say it. Say what's on your mind and then see what happens. See what happens, right? I have a friend who he's not really like a close friend, but like he's a cool guy. His name's Mike, and he loves ghosts, and he dresses up like Papa Amaritis, and he just goes around in his neighborhood dressed up like Papa in the heat because he lives here too, and he's been really upset because he's actually a really sweet person. Like he's really sweet. Um, because like he's just minding his own business, listening to his music, and then people will attack him and be like, "You're worshiping the devil. You're the devil." And like you can be like the strongest person, but that still affects you, and it's really unnecessary. Like, go fuck yourself, you know. I would have been like, "Yeah, worship the devil. He's gonna visit you in your sleep. How about that?" you know. Okay. So this brush is kind of like a watercolor brush, and I shouldn't have used my acrylic on it because if I ruin it, it's ruined, and then I have to buy a new one. But it's okay. I take care of my brushes unless like I'm sleepy. Because they're my babies. Okay. So far, base layer, and obviously the back needs some work because I kind of messed up. I'm just going to make the edges stronger with the hair. actually have to look something up real quick. Yeah, the sweetest people are the people that are like into metal, and I find it like so funny because like, you know, any old person who's not into metal would be like devil worshippers, and it's like they're not. And even if they are, like, I'd rather know that than have someone smile in my face and pretend they're like holy and kind, but they're doing like fucked up shit in the background. So yeah. Yeah. Because obviously, like, my whole family was Catholic and they did some fucked up shit, you know, like, so. And my sarcasm comes out when I hear somebody say, like, I'm Catholic, I'm a good person. And I'd be like, oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Please tell me. How are you a good person because you're Catholic? Please. I need to know because obviously I'm done. And another thing here, like, too, with Miami is like people don't expect confrontation, you know, but they get in your face, but they don't expect like you to like clap back. It's weird. And especially the old people, they think because you're younger, you're supposed to respect them. I don't believe in that concept. Just because you're old, you deserve respect. I think that you have to earn it, you know. So when the blatant insulting behavior comes out, like their toxic behavior comes out, and they're insulting me because of the way I look, they're taken aback, like, she insulted me. And I'm like, yeah, bitch, like, you're insulting me, you think I'm just gonna sit here and like take it? That, like, you're in another world just because you're old and you have old world views. Like, am I supposed to like tolerate it? No, like, go fuck yourself. Tolerate your racism and your ignorance. And it's like the point, like, if you have nothing nice to say, it's something that's brought up in Catholic school or whatever. Don't say anything at all, but apparently nobody follows that shit, you know. No one. They have to open their mouth and insult people, like, for no reason. It's really unnecessary. Okay. So this needs to dry a little bit. I'm hoping that my palette doesn't dry before that, because that's a waste of paint, but it's okay. Yeah, it's whatever. So, anyways, because I'm an omnist, I know every religion, most religions. I practice them in some form, and I like the Virgin Mary. I like Jesus, and I like Mary Magdalene. Um, so those are my three homies. And I think people think it's really like weird that you're in every religion, like you have your hand in every religion, because obviously you only need one religion, right? Which is true sometimes, but not all religious. That's what Omonism is about. Like, not everything in one religion is good. A lot of the stuff in Catholic and Catholicism, it's corrupted. Like, somebody put their nasty little hands in there, and messed up the sanctity of what it was about. So I'm not going to follow it blindly and be like, oh, yes, because the Bible says women are trash, or that being homophobic or being homophobic is okay because being gay is a sin. Like, I'm not going to follow that shit. So, all right. And let's keep. Did I get paint on my? Oh no, it's just peeling. Gonna look at some more references or inspiration of art. Beautiful, beautiful art. I'm not going to show you what I'm doing because this is going in my altar and that's sacred and private. There's some things that are sacred and private. So I'm just going to paint this. And I'll just keep talking about things. You know. You know? Okay. So, what else should we talk about? Crap. Yeah. So the two-faced behavior. And also this behavior that really I shouldn't be laughing because it's not funny, but I went to the post office to finally mail my pen pal letter to my lovely lady in North Carolina. And I was filling out the paperwork and drawing little hearts on the package so people would not destroy it. And also because, I like hearts. But the people at the post office were like talking about politics, and they were like, Trump 2021, Joe Biden's a pedophile. And I'm not even gonna bother. I'm not even gonna bother. And it was like everyone in the post office was like for Trump. And I was like, this is gonna be a losing battle for me. But like Gio was clearly aware that I wanted to say something because he knows me so well. He was like, and then when I got out, I was like, I'm not saying shit. And then I said shit about it. And I was like, it's so stupid. The reason why the post office is so pro-Trump is because it's a federal government entity. And they think that any president who keeps their job, allows them to work, they should worship in the door. Like, my point of view is, I ain't gonna suck anyone's dick who is an asshole. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's essentially what they're doing. Like, they're sucking his dick for pennies. Like, oh, he gave me a job. Like, he's giving me job security. Yeah, like, I'm gonna totally vote for him because he's such an awesome guy. He's done so much for America. Like, he's done so much for America. Obama didn't do shit. And it's like, no, he hasn't done shit, actually. He's just been taking other people's credit. And that's literally what they said. They said that like Obama didn't do shit, but Trump has done so much. What has Trump done? Trump has he's done the most damage of any president. Like he's insane. And I honestly believe like he has Alzheimer's. Like he really needs to be put in a home. Like, but I guess it's okay because I don't understand why that's okay in any manner, but apparently to the masses, it's okay. Like, it's okay. It's okay that he hates Black people. He hates Hispanics. He's a neo-Nazi. He's a white supremacist. It's okay. Like, my sarcasm. People are crazy. I think Americans are like literally insane. Like, it's true what they say. Like, white people be crazy. Like, white people be crazy. Like, they're crazy. I don't know what breed of where the genetics went wrong, but something there. I don't know. Crazy, like just crazy. I really don't get it. I should. Yes. Why not? Let me tell you the bullshit that is America, okay? They sent me a letter that said, hey, we see that you have a lot of debt and it's accumulating. Here, take out another loan so you can pay that debt. You know what I did? I threw it in the trash. I was like, fuck you. Like, you're dumb. I'm not going to take out another loan to pay my debt. That makes no sense. It obviously if they were competent and smart, they would know that I have no source of income, so I can't pay that loan that they want me to take out. So like it's just going to put me in more debt. Like, but that's what they do. They fish for people that don't understand the concept of money and debt, and which sucks because that's usually the elderly, people with disabilities, people who are really desperate. But I ain't desperate. Like, I don't give a shit. Accumulate that debt. Come on. Make that interest high. I'm not going to pay it. I'm not scared for my life. Oh my God, I have debt. Like, I don't care, honestly. It was an even exchange that I did. It was alchemy. Okay, so I don't regret it. Most people would probably be like, oh, she's really bad with her money, but that's not true. That's not the reality of it. The reason why I'm in more debt is because I was supporting my nonprofit through credit cards because I had no other options. When Corona hit, all the grants disappeared and nobody wanted to give me money. So I was like, you know what? I'll just I'll do the sacrifice. Like, sacrifice. No, it wasn't really a sacrifice to me. I was just like, I'm already in debt. Like, I'm already $60,000 in debt, so might as well do it to the extreme and see how far I can go. So, and most people in debt are not bad with money. It's just that the system is corrupt and it forces you to be in debt, right? That's how they make their money. So it's not anything that when I hear that someone is in debt, I'm just like, oh, they're probably a college student, so it's nothing like crazy. Okay, I gotta look at my source. Okay, so this is not dry yet, and I'm trying to make it crisp lines, but I also don't want to rub and mix colors. Actually, I should be using a sharp brush. I think I was born and raised in America. I've lived American bullshit. So, I know a lot of the inner workings of the system. Also, I worked for the government. So, like I'm not unaware of what goes on or how the government works, which a lot of people don't care to like learn. They're like, but obviously that's important. It's really important to know what your government is doing and not have a laissez-faire attitude when it comes to what it's doing, because that bites you in the ass. Because they don't care about you, they just care about money. That's all they care about. I put too much weight. I hate it when I use too much paint, because I'm like, I'm wasting it. But it's okay. Hey, guess what? You're beautiful. Anyways. Maybe we should make it a little less dark, and let's make it humorous. I think that emojis are the best tools to express yourself in text. Because of the way I write and express myself, because I'm not like everyone else, people don't understand what I'm trying to say. And usually when I'm not trying to insult anyone, I'm trying to say something, they think I'm insulting them, and I'm like, no, read the word, look up the word, and look at the definitions, because there's several definitions to the word you're thinking about. And then it's this whole big thing where I have to go back and explain what I was trying to say, and then they still get upset, and I'm like, oh, God. And then at that point I just use emojis and memes. But I love emojis. I did not like the emoji. Well, the emoji movie was okay. It was all right. It wasn't amazing, but I like my little characters, my little stickers, and everything else. Because I'm sort of like an anime person, those weird anime expressions, how they have extreme emotions. That's pretty much my internal dialogue. So because how do I find the words? People who aren't creative and are usually just I'm just gonna say stagnant, because I want to insult them, but I don't want to at the same time. I can't find the right words. People who usually get insulted by the way I speak are usually people with low self-esteem and low self-worth. I don't say that to insult them. It's just it's proof, because those are the people that usually get really insulted when I express myself, and I'm like, I'm not trying to insult you. Why are you taking this personally? I'm telling you something. And they'll usually use in psychology, the yous instead of I's. You made me feel like this, and and that's low self-esteem, pretty much. So that's usually why I don't talk to people who are very stagnant in their life journey, I guess, because, the people that don't want to put in the work to improve their life um, in any way, like they just want to find the next band-aid. Like I don't bother with those people because there's really like nothing you can do. There's like no winning. You can tell them like the most beautiful things, like, hey, you're gorgeous, like don't put yourself down, like this and this and this, and then they'll just bring up the negative, like no. And it's like, okay, well, at this point I'm just not going to talk to you or anything like that, because you're not receptive to anything, and the only person that can help you is yourself. I'm just looking to see how can I make these lines cleaner, but I don't have a really, really steady hand, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. Talking about Robin Williams last night, I love the movie The Birdcage. Like, I love that movie so much. So hilarious. I mean, how can you not love gay people? If you watch that movie, like, how can you not love gay people? They're just so beautiful. Like, I'm gonna cry. That movie makes me laugh. Like, I think people that just hate gay people without like seeing the beauty of them, they're just so like bitter and cruel and like just stupid, like just dumb. Like, because they add such color to life, like they're not basic. Like they're really, really out there, and I love that. Like, I'm like a cheerleader for anyone actually, but for people that are part of the LGBTQ, like I'll always be there supporting them. I'll be like, fucking do it, do it, do it. Like, like because they get so much shit. They just want to be themselves. Like, you know, just leave them alone. Let them be amazing. I think I got most of it. Let me put some more black here, because some of this is a little too transparent. I think I don't really have a small, tiny brush to do the details, I don't think. Oh, yeah, actually I do, about a bunch. How small would I be? I don't even know. Maybe this one. I haven't used them. Yeah, I bought these because I was like, oh shit, like I'm doing like really extreme details, so I need like the smallest brushes. I hate that everything is in plastic. Like, it's really unnecessary. How do I open this? Oh, no, never mind. The heck? Ooh, that hurt. I still have pains from when I was headbanging and I hurt my neck. Like, I hurt it for like 2 weeks and I couldn't move, and it was like really painful. And sometimes I just get like phantom pains, like if I move a certain way. And I also have a scar, but I like the scar. It's badass. Went too crazy. All right, so I'm going to go to the bathroom, change my water, because this also, you have to make sure you change your water when it gets really pigmented, because it'll infect all the colors. And I'll come back. Oh. Boo-doo-doo. Bye. All right. It's still black. Oh yes, I'm very Bob Ross. Like, you know how he beat the crap out of his brush? I would literally get in trouble in art class because I would go insane cleaning my brushes and water would splash everywhere and infect other people's art. And they'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, oh, I can't help it. But yeah. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, I'm cleaning up the lines, but I'm putting more white in the middle. I'm brightening her freaking her gown or whatever it is. I don't know what it is. Her undergarment. Yeah, when I get into it, it's just a hot mess. And painting and like stuff. I was listening to a song I never knew. You know, I'm still learning a lot of music, but there was a song that came up in my playlist on YouTube, and I was like, oh shit, I like it. It was, I forgot, I think it's like The Journey's End, Parasite Eve, and I was like, jamming out. Because that's exactly how I feel about what's going on with the pandemic. You know, people are so paranoid. They think that they can just hoard themselves in their house and then, you know, like everything's going to be all right, but it's not. Love that song. And I also like the way they made the video with the, I forgot what that's called. Is it like trichoma color or something? I don't know, like the way they have like this layering of color. I would love to do that somehow with painting and also like art pieces, like movies and stuff. So this brush is like this is number 1, and it says "Fire in Me" round. This might not be the right brush actually. Maybe angled. Depending on the tip, right? The roundness, the angle. That's what affects the line quality. You know, a round brush can't make a solid straight line because as you apply pressure, it's going to bend. You know, so it just doesn't work. So the brush that I need is an angled brush, a hard angle brush to make hard lines. You know, it just makes sense. Common sense. No, it's artist sense, right? Artisan sense. Yeah. Anyways. Is the strongest thing called. Ooh, it's stuck. Okay. Ooh. All right, so I'm angling it so I can see what the hell I'm doing. Actually, I need something. Oh, no, I don't think that's. There we go. That's good. All right, so yeah, that's such a good song. I have this thing where I have to look up the lyrics, like after I listen to the music video, because some words I don't understand. Like I'd be like, I don't know what word they were trying to say. So it helps me understand the message and the intention of the song. So every song that I like, I've read the lyrics to. It's really crazy. And also, like, if you don't do that, like, you're missing a lot. Like, if you just listen to it, it doesn't negate from what they were trying to do, but like, there's a lot of like hidden symbolism and hidden meaning to music and the music video. Like, so it's really like insane. Like some music I listened to like a long time ago, I liked it, and then when I listen to it now, I'm like, wait a minute, this means something else. You know, so I'm just an analytical person, like an analytical mind. Not to the point where it's like extreme, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird. Because, you know, some people analyze using numbers and math. I analyze using literature, wording, symbolism, and art and imagery. So it's like different. I don't think there's a word for it. Maybe there is. I haven't found it. I got my roommate into playing Hades. So, and now we can talk about everything about Hades, because in Hades, my two mains, because you can choose which gods give you skills and buffs. Usually I do Dionysus, I call him Dion, and Aphrodite, because I'm attempting to do a pacifist run because I want to see what happens. And Aphrodite's character design, she's completely naked. So he saw it and he sent me a picture and he was like, and I was like, yeah. And she also said in her dialogue, "Don't ever reject me," which is like totally her. I love it. It's hilarious. Okay. So I think that the first base of black is done. And then let me think. I gotta look up what I want to do next. I think I just want to keep doing the base layers. I don't want to go into detailing something. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is just the face, because her eyes are kind of like, she looks tired of people's shit, you know. And with this, it's kind of tricky because it requires a lot of small lines, but that's going to be really complex to do. For me, because my hand shakes. Nope, it's not gonna work. Damn it. Okay. Trial and error. All right. And now I have to use a different brush for that edge. I don't think this is. Yeah, I'll just use a tiny one. Because I kind of messed up with the black in the hair. It's like all over the face. And I want it to be nice and clean. crap, I have too much water on my brush. So yes, I don't know what I was gonna say. I really enjoy painting. I really enjoy making things. It's just something I really love doing, especially out of people's trash. It's like one of my favorite things to do, like things that people get rid of, because I guess they have no use for it. But I always like to think beyond the initial use. Like when I see something, when I purchase something, is it going to be multi-fucking? Ooh, multi-fucking. I meant to say multi-functioning. I don't. That just came out of me. Ooh. Multi-functioning, and what? And when I'm possibly bored of it, I don't say it as a bad thing. Like how can I change it to make it new? So like this Virgin Mary, someone just got rid of it for some reason, even though it's a work of art. Especially sculpting and ceramics, you have to make it with your hands, and this is obviously. I'm sorry, I just read what it was made, where it's from, and it's from Holland. So this piece came from Holland. Somebody made it, right? Somebody brought it here to Miami, or I don't know, like they sold it here. And it's a ceramic piece, so they had to sculpt it. The original piece, because this is a mold, and then they just copied it with molding. But it's still like high quality because ceramic is more organic. Like if something's made out of plastic, it doesn't last as long. But ceramic will hold. Crazy. I keep finding things from Europe. Uh-huh. It's not very common to find things from Europe here because we're a Hispanic country. We're mainly Hispanic, and Hispanic people are very based in their pride of their country. Like that's all they want. Like, which is okay. Like, fine. I prefer flavor of different cultures. It's more fun. The more you know, right? What is it called? Patriotism, kind of. I don't like it. It kind of doesn't make sense to me. Because you know we're not just one country. We're a planet with several countries and entities, and to make someone really patriotic for just because you were born and raised there is ignorance to me, at least. I don't know if that's the right what I'm trying to say, but it kind of makes their worldview egocentric. My country is the best. My country is the only one that matters, and that's why we went to war and we did the things that we did. The same thing with Germany. They're not innocent, but that's pretty much the egocentric view of the world. Like, my country is the only thing that matters, and which is not true. At all. I just thought of something really hilarious because we have a lot of neo-Nazis in Florida, like Upper Florida, and they have the Nazi symbolism, and they're always yelling like, "Go back to your country." And I wonder if I yell, "Go back to Germany," how would they react? I don't think anyone has done that, and I want to do it. But I'm not saying that I want them to go there because, but Germany doesn't tolerate that shit. And I hope they do go there and then they get locked up. So then I can laugh at their ignorance. Because I think they think that, I don't think they educate themselves about what Germany has done after the whole Nazi thing. Like, they really don't tolerate anything, like any memorabilia, any symbolism. Like, they shut that shit down. Like, you go there with anything and oof, I can't imagine what they do. So I don't know why they think it's okay, but hey, you reap what you sow. Right? So we're just going to let this dry a little bit because I'm going to put a second layer. Excuse me. The first layer is done. Did I get paint on myself? Okay. The first layer is done, and the second layer is going to be like the face details, like the mouth, the eyes, and also some other details like in the hair, because I like having detailed hair, like the individual, not like every individual strand. My hair color is so weird. Just basically the highlights of the hair to show that there is a contrast, because if you have something, it's just going to be flat, like flat black, and that doesn't create interest. I should have taken a picture of it before I painted it. I'm a fool. Foolish. Do, 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 do. I was just trying to see something because it's an art thing. Okay, just don't mind me. So while we wait for this to dry, we're back in quarantine. So they opened up a little bit, and then people refused to wear their mask because they said they were being violated, their rights were being violated. And ironically, they couldn't breathe. These were all white people. Do you not see the irony? And then they didn't want to do it, and then more people got infected, and then it was like a domino effect, and then they shut everything down. So I literally can't go to the beach unless I sneak in. And I can't do anything that I like to do because people are dumb. So I don't know. I'm kind of bored. I'm not really bored, but I really want to go like explore and go on an adventure without having to wear a mask constantly. Like mainly the stuff that I like to do is outdoors, but they still require us to wear a mask, even though there's a lot of distancing. But you know, hey. So I can't go to some parks. I can't go to the zoo. They closed the zoo down. Well, at least I still have Barnes and Noble, so I can find entertainment there for hours. You know, I just love books. All right, what am I doing? Okay, so I gotta lift. Don't tell me I got stuck. Okay. And you know, it would be nice to go to a park and just take pictures and like relax. Just do my thing. Maybe draw. Without being disturbed or put on a timeline, like a time limit. But everything here is just so weird and nonsensical. Like it's really just, it doesn't make sense. Because they have a bunch of like sanitizing stations, like sanitize your hands, spray everything in the store, but yet they're still accepting money from people. So does that make sense to you? Like money's really dirty. But what do I know? What do I know? Do, 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 do. Do, do. Ah. Oof, that could have messed up everything. It caught a hair. That's one thing that you should consider when you're buying brushes if you're an amateur artist is make sure you go for high quality brushes because if you go for the cheap brushes, literally the hair will fall out and it will just ruin everything and it's just not even worth that painful process. I did that because, I obviously didn't have money, so I just needed brushes and it was annoying as fuck. I mean, these are quality brushes. Cheap brushes, they'll screw you over. I need to do my nails. I think people who complain about being bored in quarantine, even though they're like with their partner, like their significant other, should really just burn. Not burn, but like, there's things that you can do with your partner, like that single people can't do, right? Quarantine is like a big clock box. Clock block. Cock block. What is wrong with me? Um, like I can't do anything with anyone. Not that I want to, but like, if my partner was here, you wouldn't see me. I'd be way too busy. Just enjoy the ride. It's just really funny. who would have thought, like, I was living my life working, trying to set up my business, thinking that it would be the same every day. Like, not the same every day, but like, you know, uh, nothing would be destabilized, but also trying to change the system. And then all of a sudden, a little virus comes and changes everyone's life. It's crazy. But I think I've learned so much, like I've learned so much about myself and the things that really matter, the things that are really important. So I wouldn't want to change it. Oh no, my brush just rolled into my paint. Um, I wouldn't want to change it, and I think people need to learn a hard lesson in life that the most important thing is loving yourself and also quality time with your family and the moments you make, like the memories. So I think that was like something really important to for the masses to learn. Because a lot of people, they have families and they put their work ahead of everything, and that's not right. Can I just talk about the Deadpool movies? Like, I just freaking love them. I'm just thinking how like crazy he is as a character, but also like I'm just thinking about like how he moved in with a blind lady who like has guns and his tiny hands, and he's like masturbating. Like, that's so funny to me. Uh, I don't even know. I have to watch that movie again. Actually, I think I'm gonna watch it tonight. It's like the best. And I'm waiting for his other movie. I don't know if he's gonna bring it out or do it. What is it? The one with the NPC. He becomes sentient, which is another type of movie that I love. Like the possibility of games becoming sentient. So I had this really cool dream or something, but it just describes me as how weird I am. So in the dream, it was just like really like very abstract, but some hands appeared in my dream. Some very beautiful hands appeared in my dream. I know, isn't that weird? Like just saying that. Let me explain myself. Just give me a second. I'm gonna have to fix these lines. So one thing about being an artist is you appreciate everyone's body, like their features, their flaws, and the things that other people make them beautiful. But obviously, it's based on perception. What I find beautiful is different than what other people will find beautiful. But for me, with the qualities that I like in men, the things that I look for when I find someone attractive are their nose and their hands. I know it's weird. So the reason why I like hands is because you can tell a lot by the person's hands. Like I can actually read into their hands. But the I want to say that the male body doesn't get a lot of how do I say it? There's not a lot of like male body worship, I guess. Like male appreciation, I guess. Like I don't know what I'm trying to get at. Like like how women, they'd be like, oh, her hips, her curves, like yes, but then there's nothing really much about like men. It's mainly like, yeah, he has a big dick or he's like good in bed or like, like that kind of stuff. Like it's kind of like it's not very poetic. So for me, I absolutely love hands, like guys' hands, like male hands are just, and it's like specific hands, like long, elegant fingers, which appeared in my dream, and I was very happy about it. I think when I'm allowed to be the social person that I am, and we can finally fucking talk to each other like normal people and like interact socially without freaking masks, and people are gonna get scared. They're gonna be so scared of me. Like they're gonna be like, "What?" Because I have no like I don't. Obviously, I respect boundaries, but I don't have any problem like going up to someone and like staring into their eyes and be like, "Your eyes are so beautiful. They look like the fucking sea on the sunniest day," and like I have no problem with that. And also, I think I get away with it because I'm an artist. I'd be like, I'm an artist. I'm not some creepy person staring into your soul. I mean, I am, but you know, that usually makes them feel better. They're usually like, oh, that makes sense. Yes. You know, uh, and I've done it to people. I have no problem. And if I have permission to touch somebody, but like not in a sexual way, just like appreciating their anatomy, I go for it. Like I'm a very physical person. Like I love like touching people, not in an inappropriate way. Like I'm very physical contact, like high affection, which is kind of hard because like I can't really do that. I mean, I do it with Geo, but like with everyone else, it's kind of difficult because they're so paranoid. But what can you do? Like, I can't force anyone to, and I would never force anyone to let me touch them. That's weird. Eh, yeah. I don't like people like that either. Um, there's appropriate touching and there's inappropriate touching. And like, even if you're best friends and like you've known each other for years, like, you still have to be appropriate. And I've had friends that I no longer am friends with who they pushed my boundaries and I didn't like it. And that's why they're no longer my friends because, they didn't respect my boundaries. Also, they really just didn't consider what I've been through. They knew that I was sexually molested, and they would still like touch me inappropriately. I'm not saying like people who haven't. Let's educate you guys. So people who have been molested and raped, they have body triggers, right? That other people would be like. So mainly the body triggers are. Let's explain this. Okay, upper body. If you have a friend that's a girl, touching the shoulders is okay. That's not gonna trigger someone unless it's like specific to them. But like me, if my guy friends are like, like putting their arms around me, like that's fine. Like I don't have any problem. Now the problem that I have where I get triggered, I have no control over this. It's a trigger is when they touch my lower body, which is usually like my hip area or my ass area, which no one should be touching. Okay. Like it's not okay. But people, a lot of men, they think it's okay to put their hand like right there, like at the base of the spine. And that's not okay. That's a fucking trigger for every woman. Like that's creepy. Um, Other things that trigger me are people touching my thighs. Like, that is like an instant trigger. And I had a friend who would constantly do that. And I would get triggered and I wouldn't be able to say anything because I was like in the war zone of, that PTSD. And that's just inappropriate. Like it's really inappropriate for anyone that's a friend to touch your thigh and like do that. And also knees as well. Like that's another trigger for a lot of women who have been molested, like, and also men who have been molested. Like you don't want to do that. Like it's disrespectful. Like the only person that can do that is your partner who like you establish like, hey, it's okay for you to touch me, because obviously it's not going to have the same impact, like I want you to touch me, like, but a lot of guys here in America, I don't know if it's, I haven't been to Europe yet, I haven't, been able to travel, but like they think that they can touch women wherever they want, like, and it's just, that's not all right in any way. My upper lip is like really tired. Am I smiling a lot? Okay. But anyways, yeah, like if you have a girlfriend, a friend that's a girl, I'm just saying, um, keep your hands to the upper body, like that's more appropriate. Um, and I like to tell Gio because sometimes he has um like he just doesn't know. So I have to train him like, what's okay and what's not okay. So I have a boyfriend zone, like, you know, specifically just where my hips and my stomach meet. That is only for boyfriends to touch. Like no one else gets to do that. Um, you know, it's like Joe Biden, like how he like touches people. Like that's basically it. Like don't be like Joe Biden. Like keep your hands to yourself. Unless you ask for permission, like, hey, is it okay to touch you? Like that's consent. Practice that. And that's what I practice, like I ask first, like, can I touch you? Like I'm not going to touch you inappropriately. I'm just going to like admire your hands, um, you know, and stare into your soul. That's how it should be, but people think, I don't know what people think. They're just dumb. They're just stupid. They assume, don't assume anything. Don't assume that, especially with women. My assumption, because I was a victim, is that every woman that I meet has been molested or, you know, in an appropriate manner, and the probability is very high. It's like 80%. So I don't touch them unless I know what's okay, because I obviously don't want to trigger them. So like having an assumption, and I think guys are just very ignorant, that they don't understand how often and how much young girls, little girls, and women are molested and and touched inappropriately. They just think that I'm a guy, like it doesn't happen to me, so it can't happen to my girlfriend, like my friend who's a girl. But yeah, like it happens like a lot, and they're also probably the problem, part of the problem, because they think like they're also doing that act. So you know don't assume anything. I don't assume anything about what people have been through. The world is a cruel place sometimes. Even though it's cruel, there's a lot of beauty, but a lot of people have been through very cruel acts of humanity. you know and I'm not one to want to put them in a bad place. I want them to see the beauty in life, which is me telling them that they're beautiful and that I love the flaws that they think they have, you know, and that is something that I always take into account with anyone, and especially children. Like, I don't touch children automatically. Like, I ask them for permission, because, that is something that a lot of adults don't practice. Like, they think it's okay just to pick up a kid or like touch a kid. It's never okay to me, because they are allowed to have consent. So, like, even though I want to uh, hug the shit out of them and give them all the affection that I can, I obviously have to ask for permission first. Um, you know, I'm gonna get some more cold water because my water's kind of hot, and I'll be back in a second. Anyways, yeah, so that's something that like I don't tolerate at all at any level. Like no one is allowed to touch me, and I really hate it when people touch me, like it's okay, like you have precedence over my body. Like I don't like that at all. Unless I give you permission, you're not allowed to touch me. I just don't touch anyone without consent, like basics. Um, you know, and it does make me emotional too. Like I sort of want to cry about it because there's been times where I literally had to swallow my internal screaming. Like I don't know how to express that. Like someone's touching me and I have to scream internally and not say anything. Like that is the worst feeling, and I never want anyone to go through that. And that's the damage that molesters do, like to children, and I hate that shit. It's like death. It's like a death. And that's why I have no qualms about people who molest children, molest women, molest innocent people, because it's not only women. I have no qualms for the karma and the justice that comes and that will come to them. Actually, let's talk about something that I didn't show anyone, actually. So I made a new business card, and it's actually, it needs to be redone and reprinted, but it came out pretty nice. This card has a lot of symbolism to me and also several other people, I think. At least people who know what the symbols mean. I don't know. But I'm bringing it up because I have high morals, but there's times where I have to close my eyes and let justice be blind, I guess. So this card that I made involves a lot of things. Can I bend this? I hope it doesn't break. I'll just show it to you. So this is the front of the card, and it has Latin and it has a lot of religious symbolism, a lot of Christian symbolism, actually. I don't know why I went with the Christian symbolism, but I think it's pretty badass. Um, so bottom of the card is actually a very controversial. I'm not going to continue. Subject because in Catholicism, even though Mary Magdalene was essentially Jesus's wife because she was a whore, people don't talk about her. But I like her. I don't give a hoot. I don't give a shit that she's a whore. I don't think that makes her any lesser than anything. And I also made it so that this is ustica, which is Latin for justice. So justice is covered because, sometimes she just has to turn a blind eye and destroy people. And a lot of the symbolism, like the heart, the bleeding heart, is to honor Jesus because I like him. And also angels and the rosary. And then the back is different. The back is also spiritual, but I don't think I'm going to show it. But yeah, justice. It's something that I guess for me, I would turn into the vicious dark side of Michelle when it comes to people who touch people and rape and shit. So, and I hope no one has to witness that because that is a very dark entity. I'm not saying that I would murder anyone. I'm saying that I would work within the law, but work within the law as I like to test the limits. So who knows? I think at this point, anyone watching has to know that I talk about very dark stuff. Not dark stuff, just stuff that happens. Um, and it's very hard for the average person to hear if they live in ignorance and in under a rock, you know. Um, but that is just who I am. Like I just cannot help that, like it needs to be talked about. Not enough people talk about it. Because if you don't talk about it and you don't bring it up and don't say, like, this is a problem, like, it needs to stop, then people are just going to keep doing it. You know, they're just going to keep doing it. They're going to think it's okay. Like, we can get away with it. We can keep doing it. And no, that's no longer true. And that's essentially why I like people who are very strong, like women who are very vocal, like women who don't give a shit about being called a whore, like that. And I also like men who stand up for women and also talk about subjects that are really hard, you know, because obviously men have more power in this world. So if a man is talking about it, they're going to have a higher impact, like, oh shit. And also a man who is very pissed off about something really important is something to be very scared of. I think. No, I wouldn't be scared. I'd be in the background, like, yes, do it. But a man who is really pissed off and passionate about something, other men. I wouldn't say other men. These assholes who like touch people, they would be afraid of a real man. I think they would shit themselves, and I would laugh. I wouldn't laugh. I'd just be in the background, supporting. And also, if I need to come in and kick someone in the balls, I would. But that's like really rare. Like, there's not a lot of men who have the mindset of, they don't put their perspective in the shoes of women and children. So that's a rare person to find, and I think we should really worship those people, those men. And that's why I say, like, body worship for men is kind of rare. I mean, I don't worship like any man, like just any man. Like, it's not like that person has to prove themselves. I don't know what's going on here, but like, it feels like my lip is just like really tired. I don't know. It's really weird. And also my nose. I have no idea. But yeah. So when it comes to people that I admire, like, just that they have proven themselves to be genuine, because people can pretend to have compassion, but they're not. Like, for example, Hillary Clinton is a very big example. Then yeah, I have no problem worshiping, telling people that they're worth more than that they can ever know, because that's just me, and that's just who I am. All right, what am I doing? I'm going to drink some water. Damn, it's already 3. I feel like it's time was standing still. That's crazy. Yeah, so this is going to be a little tricky. Do I have a small, fine Sharpie? No. Maybe this one. Faber-Castell. Ooh, that's way too small, actually. Would micron work? How are these bent? The fuck? Someone was using my microns inappropriately. Bastards. Those are really expensive. Microns are so expensive. All right, it doesn't matter. No, it's not gonna work. Maybe this one, the calligraphy pen. Yes. Okay. So yeah, I like touching hands, like, and just looking at hands and studying the hands based on anatomy and like as an artist, like perspective. It's just insane. I know it's an insanity, but I think it's nice. We really do everything with our hands, And hands are very telling of how like the person grew up, like what their job is, like what they do. Like, you can tell a lot by just that. Um, I think this is also part of me being like a detective, like in a way. Like I can look at someone and be like, I can really like, it's like a Sherlock Holmes kind of thing, but not like to the extreme because that hurts my brain. But definitely like a lot of the way people carry themselves, like the way they stand, the way they present themselves, I can tell a lot about their mentality and like how they feel about themselves and psychological stuff. But yeah, that's something that I have acquired through years of insanity. Nah, just years of being observant, I guess. It takes training. Years and years of observance. Being in the background, like a wallflower watching people. Watching people. Did you know that sitting down is not natural in any way, and sitting down for long periods of time is actually really bad for you? I'm just saying that because I've been sitting down for a very long time. Not that I'm going to stand up or anything, but Yeah, there's not a lot of American men that I look up to. I think that's so obvious and blatantly, obviously, like it's just obvious right now. Like, there's no one that I can look up to and be like, yeah, that guy, he's doing something to change. Like, there's just really no one that I really can relate to or inspires me in any manner. And I find that sad. Oh, actually, though, there's like one guy that I like, but it's not really like that impressive. Actually, and that's sad. It's part of the reason why I don't want to have children with an American man. This is personal, people, like, don't get offended. But if my husband can't be an example for my children, then I don't want it. It's just like I lead my life by example, that my children can look up to me and be like, my mom's a badass. She fucks shit up. But if my husband can't be on the same level as me, then I don't want it. So yeah. It just it doesn't make sense, right? I'm not saying that, I'm not going into gender roles, but there are some things that men should do, protect their family, mainly protect their family. I think that's something important. If a man just lets anything happen to their family, then what's the point? It's just it's not a concept that's really American. Like, it's more foreign because I've researched it and I educated myself that it's more a concept in Europe, mainly with men from Scotland, and not so much. I don't know too much about Ireland. They're kind of like weird. Scottish and Norse, and is like the main thing that I see. Maybe some African, but not inherently like true. But yeah, mainly Scottish. And if I were to be available and looking, I would probably go for Scottish or someone from Europe, which is essentially what I'm doing. But yeah. Not saying that I need someone to protect me, but it's nice to have a second player, in the game. It's that changes the game. Because I'm sure, like, it's it's just a fact. Because I'm so small, people think that they can fuck with me, but I'm sure if my husband magically appears out of the corner or something and gives them like a death stare or something, then they're gonna back off. And then I don't have to get all worked up, which is nice because I do get worked up. And it takes me a while to cool down. Why does this look green? This is weird. Weird. But yeah, like that would be nice. I think if I married someone and like they didn't defend me or my kids, I would be so disappointed and I would probably be heartbroken and just probably disappear into the darkness like forever. It's very dramatic, isn't it? Very dramatic. Dramatique. Um, that's important to me. Like those are my standards. And I have a lot of friends who, I open up to them and I'm like, I'm going crazy with this high sexual energy. And they're like, just find somebody to have sex with. And I was like, no, no, that's boring. Why? If I wanted to have sex with someone, I would. I mean, I have options, but like that's not the point. The point is, I'm actually a lot older than the people that I'm friends with. So, they're still young. They can go nuts. They can fuck around. Like, but for me, I'm reaching my 30s. I'm ready. I did the crazy shit in my 20s. I lived that life. I've done it, you know, and I'm good. I'm not. I wasn't impressed. I learned my lesson. I don't need that anymore. Also, I don't think anyone can deal with my like hyperness. My I have really high energy. Like I'm really hyper. So it takes someone with a lot of energy and patience to deal with me. Sorry, I'm just looking at the reference. And also the people that I don't know. I don't imagine like because the whole concept of sex has changed for me completely because it's like it's so different like the way I view it now. Like it's not something that just can be like done. Like it's about a partnership, it's about intimacy, it's about opening yourself up in a very vulnerable way with someone, you know, and giving them the opportunity to merge, you know. So I don't just want any fucking person up in my grill and then like be very like open and honest and gushy with them, and then they go off and disappear, and then never show their face again. So like I really don't want to put myself in that level, you know, of vulnerability, because that's really painful, and I'm really tired of pain in that sense, and why put yourself there, if you can avoid it. But that's young mindset, like that's young people mindset. Like, I'm horny, I need to be satisfied, and it doesn't matter. And then they cry about it later, like, he left me for another woman. He didn't really love me, and I gave him everything, And we've all been through that. Like, we've been through that. Like, so I'm not about that anymore. I'm a mature woman. I can actually say that now. I'm a mature woman because I'm going to be 30 next year. So that's weird. I've never thought of myself as a mature woman. It's hilarious. So yeah, the whole concept of sex, like, it's not something that interests me. I don't want to have sex. I want to make love to my partner who is committed, as I am committed. Different thing, like, like completely different mindset and completely different ball game. Like, and people don't see it. Like, I'm going to relate it to a game because that's, I think, how most people can understand me in a basic level, is they don't see the long term. Like, they just see the short term, like the short term investment. Like, oh yeah, like if I invest in this emotion right now, like I'll get something right back. But that has no long term basis. Like, it has no long term investment. That is actually really a really bad investment in my mindset. Like, it's more about this thing that's stable, which would be like marriage and children and, family. Because you can't go crying to your fuck boy and like open up an emotional level and think that he can do anything. Like, he obviously is just a fuck buddy, like a fuck boy. So I don't need that. And mature women know that. Like, they don't give any fuck boy a time of day. Like, they just roll their eyes and they're just like, get out of here, get the fuck out. And like the mature, respectable men, they don't fuck around with like young, immature girls because like that's gross. Um, and that person is not mature enough to do anything of quality or basis that's long term. Like, they're really unstable. And it's just nasty for an older man to be with a young girl. Like that's usually just statutory rape at that point. So, but it's okay in America. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I'm not gonna sleep around. Like I'm good. Like I can do myself better than any random stranger. So I'm good. I don't really need that. Um, that's just nothing that important. Though Corona has been difficult, but whatever. I'm not. I'm not seeking cheap thrills. Seeking to have kids, and I'm sure that scares a lot of people who are interested in me. Good. I don't need people who are not ready in my life. No, I don't need any of that. I get that a lot from immature men when I express myself. Like, um, and I'm very blunt. I'm looking for a husband. I'm looking for a man to make children. I'm looking for this and this and this. Like, I already know what I want. And then the person is like, "You're gonna scare people away," and I'm like, "Good. I don't give a shit. Like, if you're fucking scared of what I want, like, I don't need you. Like, go fuck yourself." I'm not saying that I'm gonna be like, "Hey, I want your baby." Like, I'm gonna take the time, and that's part of the process, like learning about the person that you want to have a child with. You know, people are just silly. They like take things too literally, like literally. Why is that so hard to say? Too many R's. Literally, or too many L's. Um, they take things like it's immediate, right? Because I don't take things as it's an immediate. I see it as like it's definitive, but there's a time in between. Like, does that make sense? I don't think people think that way. That's weird. That's just the way I think. That's why people don't understand me. Like when I express myself, like it's really just it's a little frustrating, but then I'm like, eh. That's why I use emojis. I have to use memes. But in writing, like in seriousness, like if I'm taking someone serious, like yeah, I'm gonna write how I write. I'm not gonna. I mean, I still use emojis, but like I'm not gonna be like I'm gonna be serious. Like I don't know how to explain it. I'm not gonna fluff it up as I usually do with other people. Because if you pretend you're someone you're not when you're trying to date someone, when you're trying to make a commitment, then that's going to stab you in the back. And it's also not real, like in any sense. Like there's nothing real about that relationship because that person fell in love with someone who's fake. So I'm not going to be like trying to kiss ass to make someone to like me. Either they like me for who I am, or like get the fuck out, don't waste my time. Like, you know. And I get that sense that people want to be nice. You know, they really want things to work out, that they will have slide the red flags, pretend that there's something, that some things are okay and it's not. You know, I've learned those lessons. I'm done. You know, those things will hurt you more than you think. And that's what a mature psychological mind is. That's why I love psychology. And my black paint is dry. Damn. You know, the immature people, immature mind, they think that the most important thing is for their partner to like them. And, you know, but in reality, if your partner doesn't like you for who you are, then every time you show, you know, let that slip, like the person that you are comes out, they're going to be like, I don't like that. And I was in a relationship like that. And I did not like the way that made me feel, because I literally had to walk on eggshells and be someone I was not, high anxiety, high stress. And I don't want to do that ever again. You know, it's not fair. It's not fair to your partner. And if you really cared about them, you wouldn't want them feeling that way. You know, you would just let them be who they are. And the same thing goes for children, like with parents who are really controlling and really just toxic. Like, you know, they think that their children have to be exactly like them, and that they have to control them, and everything they consume, and, you know, their personality, like, you know, they have to act in a social, respectable manner. And that's something that I went through a lot when I was growing up. I was literally not allowed to be who I was for 25, 26 years. Like, you know, I couldn't express myself in the way I wanted to express myself, because, you know, I would be punished for it. And that is not right. As someone who wants to have children, I would never do that for my kids. Like, I would, you know, empower them. I would allow them to express themselves. You know, I would nurture them. But, you know, people think this baby came out of my body, so I own it. Like, you know, that's the wrong mindset. It's so disrespectful and so ignorant and so gross. Like, I hate that shit. You don't own anything. Like, you don't. And I already know, like, my children are gonna be freaking insane. Like, I can feel it in my bones. They're gonna drive me up the wall, I'm sure, but it's okay because I love them, and, you know, I'm gonna drive them up the wall. Like, I'm gonna prank the shit out of them, and I'm gonna make them feel so awkward too when they bring people over, and embarrass them, because that's the type of person I am. I can't wait. It's gonna be funny. You know, that's how it should be, but people are weird. You know, I'm not a I'm not a controlling parent type. I'm more of a loving, doting mother. Like, I'll tell you, like, hey, don't do that. And then that's it. Like, I'll walk away because you can't, kids have to learn. Like, they have to go through it, get hurt, and then be like, oh shit, you know, you can't try to protect them and keep them safe. And I know people who do that. Um, they don't let their children express themselves in any manner because they want them to stay safe and protected and blah blah blah. And yes, I want to protect my children. I will protect my children, but I'm not going to keep them prisoners in my house. you know that's crazy. It's not healthy for anyone to do that, and it's also very stressful. Like, if I have a lot of children, I can't be like in everyone's freaking business like 24/7. Like, I have shit to do. Like, you know, that's where trust is involved. Trying to get this paint off me. So yeah, I'm not a normal parent. I'm not going to be a normal person. I don't want to be normal because that's boring as fuck. So I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of shit for it too. The way I parent and treat my kids. Because if like my kids come up to me and they're young and they're like, let's say I have a boy and he wants to paint his nails and do his hair all crazy and wear a dress, I'd be like, okay, like, let's do it, and I'll let them know, like, people are going to say things, they're going to be mean, but little do those people know that if they say something to my kid and I'm there, things are going to fucking, they're going to catch these hands. Because I hate that. I hate that crap. Like, telling a kid, like somebody else's kid, like coming up to their kid and be like, you can't do that. Bitch, I'm literally standing right here and you're fucking saying that to my kid. You better step back because I'm going to lose it. Like, I will fucking murder you. Telling me to my kid, like, I'm not going to go up to your kid and like say, honey, you look gay. Like, you can't, like, that. What the fuck? Like, ooh, I got worked up. Yeah, but don't do that in front of me. Like, don't even do it behind my back because if I find out, either way, like, I will be there and I will destroy something. Like, I will destroy people. And when I say destroy people, like, obviously I'm going to use my words and my education and my knowledge, you know, uh, and my psychology to destroy you, which is like the best way because, killing someone is really easy. That's lazy. That sounds terrible. I'm sorry, but let me explain. Destroying someone with words is like the ultimate form of destruction. Like, like, ouch. You know what I mean? And it makes you smarter. Like, you have to really think about what you're going to say. You have to think about how you're going to say it. Like, what would really, 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 really hurt. Anyone can physically hurt you, right? But words leave scars. They're like an open wound. Yeah, I'm not about gender norms. I really don't care about gender norms at all. Like, I really don't. I think they're stupid. Just dumb. You know, my kid wants to wear a dress. Okay. Dresses are really comfortable. Like, really just put one on and it's really like comfy. Like, nothing wrong with that in my eyes. It's just comfy, let them wear a dress. And if someone says, what if they turn out gay? I'm going to be like, and I will love them regardless. Obviously, you don't understand what love is. So, like, you shouldn't be a parent. And then I would just walk away. I'm so evil. Just thinking. I gotta fix some little details. But yeah, like, mm-mm. And another thing that I don't like is, like, I do want to adopt children as well as have one kid at least physically, but I don't like it. Bring that up, like, your adoptive children, and be like, no, they're my kids. That's really just fucking rude. Like, don't even bring that shit up. It really doesn't make a difference to me where my kids come from. Like, I really don't care. But people can't grasp that concept. They can't grasp, like, the concept that all children are children. Like, all children are my children, right? They don't comprehend that mentality. Because obviously, the only children that I should care about are the ones that come out of my body, and all other children on this planet can die and suffer and have worse deaths. Like, it doesn't matter because they didn't come from me. Like, what kind of mentality is that? Like, let me have these young children suffer and be homeless in Africa, die of starvation. Doesn't matter because they're in Africa and they're not my kids. What happens to other children around the world can happen to you can happen to your children. It doesn't fucking matter. But hey, whatever. The mentality of the masses, I think, is more sick than the mentality of the unique individual. Oh, I showed you what I was doing. Fuck. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. So basically, the mentality of the masses is more sick. People get away with sick shit, pretty much. I think that it's like enablism, and obviously they've done social experiments about following the crowd, and that's the most dangerous thing. And we've witnessed it in history. I mean, if you read a book, if you Google things, like, it's there. And that's the whole thing about being an advocate and being someone who stands up to the masses is that you'll get attacked by people in groups in mass, right? You'll get attacked by several people while you're trying to bring up the point. And that's the thing that's really difficult for me, is that if I'm trying to bring up a point and I'm being attacked by a group of people, not that I would back down, is just really frustrating. And at that point, I would wish that my partner would, step in. So, but whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? So, why is this? Oh, it's because of the wash. I was like, why the hell is that? So, anyways, I was inspired by a song that I was listening to earlier from Avatar, and that's why I'm making this. I did not want to reveal. It was supposed to be a secret, but I'm dumb. Like I was saying, I really look up to that band, which is really funny. I was thinking about it earlier. Um, the only bands that I really, 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 really like would be Deer and Gray and Avatar. Um, so that's really like extreme. I don't think that um, most people can comprehend the complexity of their music or the themes that they talk about on a extreme level, because everything they talk about I have been through. So that's why it really impacts me. And also, they seem like really nice guys. Like, I really wish I could go meet them and talk to them and be friends with them. Um, so I haven't reached popularity, doing what I do. I wasn't doing it for popularity, but I'm glad that someone who's in the spotlight talks about things that are really heavy. It's because, celebrities have more pull than just a normie, random person, you know. Which is kind of, it sucks, but, it's just the reality. People like entertainment. They want to worship people who are successful, who make a lot of money, because they obviously want that because they think that it's easy, and the money makes everything go round, and money makes life easier, and I'll be happier when I have success. But that's not the truth, obviously. just gonna leave it like that. Yeah, so the whole celebrity, like, what is it called? This concept that celebrities are held in higher esteem than people in academics and education, and who actually have. I'm not gonna like debase like what some celebrities do, but like who have a higher impact on improving people's lives. Because like I'm thinking of like scientists and like things like that. But I think that the whole thing is kind of sick. Like it's kind of like we put people on this pedestal of they're absolutely perfect because they're celebrities, and like everyone can like search what they're doing and look up their history and blah 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 blah, right? And then all of a sudden when they don't live up to their standards, they turn the other way. Well, they don't turn the other way, but they like don't they kind of, what is the word? They kind of stab the people that they were worshiping because they don't like that they do something a certain way, or they did something that didn't resonate with them, or like some fucking bullshit, because no one can live up to your standards, like your projections. That person is a completely different person than you, like like you can't do that. And that's what people do all the time. Oh shit. Oh well. But anyways, I think that is I'm trying to think of the words. Well, it's not only a projection, but it's like it's kind of like a sick mentality. Like you love these people, you're a fan, like you worship and adore them, and then all of a sudden when they show human traits, like human flaws, you fucking bully them, like you treat them like shit. Like I think that's so disrespectful and really just telling of the person. And I really wish those people wouldn't bother being fans. Like either you accept these people as they are completely, or you leave. Like don't even be part of this thing, like because I literally like I lost my temper months ago when someone was doing that, and I was like, why are you even like why are you here? Like stop fucking around. Like it really like pissed me off. I was like, you're wasting everyone's time. Obviously you're here to like bring up people's flaws, and like just shut the fuck up. Like and I mentioned it in one of my videos, and I didn't mention who it was, but it was Avatar. I was really upset about someone on the fan page because I'm active, semi-active, not so much on. But I like someone they brought up, they had a really nice poster which I loved for, what is it, WWE, right? Am I getting like the one with the panda? I always forget. I'm also a very active person with that group. I'm having a brain burn. No, I'm thinking of wrestling. WWF. Why did I? Yeah, WWF. I've donated to them and I'm active with them. Not like active recently, but they were saying that they were vegan, and I was like, that's fucking awesome, that's cool, and that's really insane because that's a lot of hard work. Why is that? Oh, that's interesting. Because being vegan is really intense. And I was like, cool, like that's great. And someone was like, baby, but you guys did this, and I was just like, you're like really like you're caca. Like go fuck yourself. And like why? Like why complain about that? First of all, if you have a problem with that, like the way they live their lives, um, first of all, that's none of your fucking business. Second of all, like why? And I literally told that guy, I was like, well, if you have such a problem with what's going on in the world with veganism and how people treat animals and blah blah blah, then go fucking do something. Like go fucking out there, go fucking protest. Like I don't give a fuck. Like just do something instead of sitting there with your little keyboard and talking shit. Que pinga. And that's when I start talking Spanish. Oh God. Me molesta tanto cuando alguien que me gusta. Ugh, I can't even express it. Never mind. I'm just gonna. My Spanish is bad. But anyways, before I go, because I'm hungry, and I ran out of toilet paper. I'm gonna fix this. But yeah, like, why? And I've had the same thing happen to me, so that's why I get so pissed off. I'm like, the fuck? Like you're telling me? Like I literally had someone tell me that, hey, you should donate to be an example because like blah blah blah. And I was like, first of all, you're a fucking idiot coming up here and messaging me and mansplaining me. Like you made a fucking mistake. I literally said in the post, I have my own nonprofit organization and I have volunteered and donated and been involved with several entities with the Black Lives Matters movement. But you're coming here telling me you need to donate. Go fuck yourself. Like I literally told that person, shut the fuck up. Like when he messaged me, I read his message and I was like, shut the fuck up. And he's like, don't tell me to shut the fuck up. And I was like, shut the fuck up. I don't have to tolerate you. I don't have to listen to you. Like, shut the fuck up. And that's when I get like, I lose all all my diction and my syntax and my eloquency, my eloquent words when I don't tolerate something. Like like you fucked up when I blatantly tell you like shut the fuck up and go fuck yourself. All right. I am done for now. This is not even, this is almost done. But yeah, like I really don't tolerate that shit. And I don't even have to like be friends with like the people that I admire and to stand up for them. Like it's not something that I care for. Like it's more of a, I've seen their work. I've seen what they've done. I've seen their hard work and what they care about, obviously, because they express it through their music, what they follow, it's obvious. And I don't tolerate any bullshit, even if it's not towards me. Because I mean, if you let people do that, it says more about your morals and your honor. So all right. Bye.